let's try this after I hit record, shall we? Hi guys, it's Ayshxo again. I know, I'm really shiny. But what can I say? I am hopped up on drugs. I've got the sweats. I'm just coming over a cold, but obviously not because I've still got the sweats. And yeah, so if you feel I'm extra shiny, apologies, but that's the way it is. No amount of powder is going to stop that. Yes, okay, sorry, I'm a bit loopy, and then obviously because I was loopy, I've been showing you my favourites and I didn't even hit record. But for those of you who've only recently joined me, and thank you to all my lovely new subscribers, and obviously all the rest of you as well, loving you all. I usually show a whole bunch of products and give you, but they're not necessarily current products. Sometimes they might be discontinued or limited edition, and that's not to say that, oh, here, you know, I've got it and you haven't. It's about just encouraging you guys that if you've got it in your stash, to take it out and have a bit of play. I haven't got too many, and I'll talk about my book favourites and my random favourites at the end. So I'll quickly go on and reach for this. This is a Stila In the Moment palette there. Love this one. They've got 4 palettes. This is with the purples. I can't remember what colour pencil it came with, but I'm absolutely loving it, and you can see I've given the colours all a bit of love. And because I'm on a purple kick at the moment, yeah, I just had to take this one out and have a bit of a play, and I'm just going to get you 4 of the colours there. It's got a nice range of mattes and neutrals as well, so you can get quite a different number of looks on this one, and it's a good easy palette to take with you, where you if you're going away, you can take this with you. You'll get a nice neutral look out of it, and if you wanted that extra bit of colour, you could do that as well. But that's the color. Those are some of the colours there, and I'll just swatch them for you. And there, the colours there. So beautiful colour payoff as well. So absolutely loving Stila In the Moment. I always call it In the Know, is it? In the Moment palette. And the blushes that I've been loving, actually we'll continue on with the eyes. The other thing that I've been loving with eyes is, and I've said this a number of times, and I'll always say, Clinique is absolutely overpriced here in Australia. I tend not to buy any Clinique unless, one, I go overseas. Well, that makes it more expensive, so I'm not going to go on a trip overseas to buy Clinique, but or when they have a gift with purchase. So consequently, I have a lot of these sample mascaras. I don't actively buy Clinique mascaras, but I reckon if I went overseas again, I probably would. Absolutely loving this one. I think there's only one mascara of theirs I tried that I didn't enjoy, but this one is Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara in 01 Black. From the first day I tried this, absolutely loved it. It basically almost coats all of my lashes all at once, so I don't have to do, well, I do have to, but I just feel like I get a good swipe on the first go. For the curling bit, I really can't say yay or nay. I don't have straight lashes, but it gives a decent amount of volume and a bit of definition as well. Absolutely loving this one, and it doesn't flake on me. I only like wearing waterproof mascaras, but this is working fine. I don't put it on my bottom lashes, but absolutely loving that one. Okay, the last thing for eyes that I have is this brush. It's in number S146, and it's from Ayshxo. That's the brush there. Now, the Ayshxo brushes, from what the Ayshxo people have said, is that the difference in price is all about the handle. Unfortunately, this is the expensive handle because I couldn't find it in the cheaper range. But again, it was only in the $30-something mark, which is well, not really cheap, but reasonably priced here in Australia, because that's cheaper than a MAC. I'm loving this brush. It just it goes. I've got hooded eyes, so this is perfect to work in the crease. It feels so nice and soft. It's just a beautiful small little brush with a nice tapered tip. Absolutely loving it. It's like I'm using clouds on my eyes. Absolutely love it. And if next time I make it to IMATs, whether it's this year, next year, or in 3 years' time, I'll definitely be picking up some. Or I think I can buy them online. I think Ayshxo actually delivered to internationally, so I might try that too. But loving this one. So that's S146. Just got a couple more. No, actually not a couple. I've got several more. Actually, little rant. I can't really stand it when people say couple when they mean more than 2. Couple is 2. So more than 2 is several, or whatever number you want to say. But anyway, rant over. I'll show you a couple of blushes that I've been loving. And the first one is my Milani blush in Luminoso. Sorry, a bit of powder there. That's the colour there. I've got a medium tone skin tone, and this shows up beautifully on my skin. It's a baked blush. It's not a dupe for NARS Orgasm. I think that's Luminous or something in the Milani range. You can buy Milani from Cherry Culture and Beauty Something and Crushed Cosmetics and eBay if you are willing to risk eBay purchases, but that's the shade there. It's beautiful. Sometimes mineral blushes don't actually last on my cheeks, but that lasts all freaking day. Love it, and it's going strong. I think I've had that for at least a couple of years or 3 years or whatever, and you know, every once in a while I fall in love with it and keep on using it every single day, and it's still going strong, so I absolutely love that. The second blush that I've been loving is from Bare Minerals. Now Bare Minerals, this is their loose blush, obviously not the pressed one. I was enabled to buy this by Donna Short's one. She was raving about it, and I absolutely love it. I actually don't mind using this one. You know, I don't always go to my loose powders, but I love this one. It's a beautiful shade. Again, lasts all day on my skin, and that's what that one looks like. Yes, it's an awkward swatch, but that's the shade there. Just a beautiful, really good value for being able to purchase this in Australia. I buy mine from Kit Cosmetics or Mecca Maxima, and love it. Do yourself a favour. I think these are under $30 and it'll last you a bajillion years. And the last two makeup products that I have, one is, I don't even know if they make it anymore. This is from L'Oreal. It's interesting, whenever I wear this, I see it as an orange, but the number is 711 Invincible Red. So and now when I look at it, I do see it as a red, but I saw it as more of a red, not a red ochre, like a smoky orange, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, it is actually red. So, but I don't know. When I put it on my lips, I don't feel like it looks red. But I'm really loving it. It's one of those retractable ones. Like I said, I don't know if they make these or sell these anymore, but I'm sure you can find them in bargain bins, or just check your stash and see if you've got them. But really, really liking this one. And not that I'm a big lip liner fan, but I really do like this one. And I tend to just wear this all over my lips as well. And yeah, loving it. And the other one that I'm loving, and there's actually not much left in it, and this is a Tarte Lipsurgence in Dazzled. All the name has come off. That's all that's left in it, as you can see. So it's only probably got another week or two wear. And that's the shade there. It does have some glitter particles in it. It's a nice corally colour. I got this in a swap type thing, so you can't really buy Tarte at a reasonable price here in Australia, unless you use a mail forwarding company or somewhere like Tara's. Yeah, so it's just a beautiful coral colour. It does have glitter. Sometimes I feel the glitter and sometimes I don't. So I don't know whether I'm just being extra sensitive, or the days when I don't feel it, I'm just not being sensitive, if that makes any sense at all. But I love it. It's got a minty flavour to it. It does give a nice stain to the lips. So like barely there stain, but enough that you don't really feel like you need to put more colour on your lips sometimes. But absolutely loving it. And if you can get your hands on it, do so. Okay, and on to my non-makeup favourites. I'll talk about some of the books that I've been enjoying in my February favourites. A lot of you are quite receptive for me to talk about the books that I've read for the month. I tend to only read when I'm going to work or coming back. So if I meet somebody that I know on the train, I don't get to really read that day. So I don't churn through books as such, but absolutely love to read. Now, I've got a Goodreads profile, so if you load the app or even join on your PC, add me as a friend so we can all follow each other and see what books we're reading. So the first book that I've read is called Frigid by J. Lynn and Jennifer L. Armentrout. I think I wanted pulp fiction. I was in the mood for pulp fiction, so I just downloaded this book. It's It's a young adult romance. It's basically Mills and Boon or Harlequin romance, whatever you want to call it, but with young people who think they're hip. So I'm not the target audience for this book, so it didn't really impress me at all. But I read it in a few hours, so it was fine. Can't really bother getting it. How all these stories are. They've known each other. This one is that they've known each other for years and they fall in love. And, you know, by page 100 they do it. 50 pages before the end they break up, and at the end they get back together again. It's one of those formula books. So if you enjoy them, you'll probably enjoy that one. The second book that I've read, it's actually been a weird month for books. This is from Hanif Kureishi. This book is from Hanif Kureishi, and the book is called Intimacy. It's one of those books that, you know, you always like you have to read it sort of thing. Intimacy speaks to and for a lost generation of men, those shaped by the 60s, disoriented by the 80s, and bereft of a personal and political map of the 90s. So says the Independent on Sunday. I found this book, it's basically set about this guy over 24 hours, and he basically wants to leave his wife. And yes, he does have, and he's cheating on her. I read this book, and again, I don't think, I can understand why men enjoy this book, but I'm reading this book going, stop your freaking whining and get over it. Get over it. Even though it's a thin book, I found it excruciating to read. I actually had started reading this book years ago, and I was going through my bookshelf and I thought, well, I really need to finish this book, and basically started from the beginning. Yeah, excruciating to read. I think guys will like this book, but it's borrow it from the library. Don't spend money on it. That's all I can say. And the last book I read, I absolutely love. I don't actually have it with me because as soon as I finished it, I passed it on to someone to read, because everybody has to read this book. Well, if you like the types of books I like. I don't know why I'm keeping it a secret. It's called Never Change by Elizabeth Berg. That's what the cover of the book that I had looked like. Absolutely loved it. It centres around this woman who's 51, who's a travelling nurse and goes around her homes and administers their patient care. And one of the patients ends up being someone that she was in love with when she was in high school. So it's her, I think her name was Myra or Mira, this guy and his girlfriend. So they're the three main characters, and basically it's about their friendship. Absolutely loved it. From 30 pages in, I had already worked out this has to be a movie. I was watching it, I was reading it like it was a movie. I've even worked out the very last scene in the movie, which I would finish, like I wouldn't change the plot at all, but the last scene would be different and it would be freaking awesome. Pity I don't write film scripts. But anyway, loved it, absolutely recommend it. Yeah, so the guy ends up being one of her patients. He comes back into town because he has cancer, and it just goes through all of that. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. So if you like Anne Tyler type books, you will love this one. You know what? I actually can't remember my other random favourites. What else did I like that were not book related? I'm asking like you know the answer. Anyway, I can't remember. Sorry about that. But TV show, Real Housewives of Melbourne. It's the most freaking weirdest show. Oh my God. My husband, he's an international rock star, and she drives a Porsche, but I drive a Porsche too. Oh, it's freaking hilarious. And Gina, I just want to grab Gina and just put some highlight on her brow bone. But anyway, loving it. If you guys have watched Real Housewives of Melbourne, let me know, and let me know what your favourites are and whether you are on Team Gina. Otherwise, take care guys, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.